In this video, I'm going to talk to you about something that I don't really want to talk to you about, or I should say, I wish I didn't have to talk to you about it, but I feel like I need to because it's a problem that's happening more and more. And that is players, especially older players, are being kind of messed up by coaching. For some reason these days in coaching, there's an obsession with trying to get everyone to hit the ball like the pros. So it used to be getting everyone to hit the ball like Federer, and now it's hitting the ball like Alcaraz and Sinner because they're the two best players in the world. And it's really important to understand that that is completely unrealistic for 99% of the planet, but especially if you're an older player that started playing tennis as an adult. Tennis is a really hard sport. It requires a tremendous amount of eye to foot and eye to hand coordination. Your visual system has to function at a really high level to read the flight of the ball so that you can set up in the right position, so that you can start your swing at the right time. And you have to have amazing coordination to use the right footwork and to use high level techniques. Now, this isn't me trying to put you off playing tennis. This is me trying to give you realistic expectations to help you understand what to work on and how to practice so that you can actually become a better player than you are now. Because if you're trying to copy what the pros do, if you've been working with a coach or watching videos and they're talking about, creating racket lag or doing all these fancy things that professional tennis players do, there's a good chance that it's completely inappropriate for you, because in order to use an ATP style or a next gen style forehand, you have to have amazing timing. You have to be able to do all that stuff and create the racket lag early enough in order to make contact out in front. But when you watch the vast majority of players play, older players, over 40, over 50, and you look at their contact point, they're way too far back. Like, they're hitting the ball around here and they need to be hitting the ball out there. And they're thinking that the problem is that, I didn't create racket lag in the right way. It's impossible to create racket lag if the contact point's there. The solution is to start the swing sooner, so then you can meet the ball further out in front. But it's not as easy as just starting the swing sooner for the reasons that I've just mentioned, because you have to be able to read the flight of the ball, you have to be able to set up in the right position, you have to have the coordination. And another area that you see it is with players following through. Coaches, you need to follow through over the shoulder. And then you watch them make contact with the ball back there. And if you're making contact with the ball back there, the natural follow through isn't over the shoulder. So you see people hitting it and then doing this funny, strange follow through, because that's what the coach has told them to do. And again, I'm not trying to put you off playing tennis. I'm not saying that you won't be able to improve. You definitely will be able to improve. You just have to work on the appropriate thing for you at the right level of difficulty. And that probably means not trying to use an ATP or next gen style, not trying to use extreme grips, not thinking about things like racket lag, and instead focusing on the fundamentals, the foundations, something called receiving skills. The most important thing in tennis is that you can get to the ball in the first place. So you're watching the flight of the ball, you're trying to move, and you're trying to set up in an appropriate position. And then it's about controlling the angle of the racket face at the moment of contact. So exactly what you do with your hands and with your arms and what swing path and technique you use, it doesn't actually matter. It's all about controlling the angle of the racket face. So you should use a technique that's more appropriate to enable you to control the angle of the racket face more effectively. And if you have the skill, the eye to hand, the eye to foot coordination to make an ATP forehand work, that's awesome. Obviously go for it. That's the best way to hit the ball if you have the skill to do it. But if you don't, please don't let coaches convince you into thinking that's the only way to play tennis and the only way to improve, because it isn't. You can hold your racket in a continental grip on both sides and play a really high level of tennis. I know plenty of guys and ladies in their 60s and 70s that have a continental grip and play a fantastic standard of tennis, and it's completely okay to do that. So I just wanted to make this video to give you some mental peace that if you're not able to, if you're a slightly older player, maybe 50, 60, 70 years old, and you're not able to hit the ball like the pros and use these modern techniques, it's nothing that's wrong with you. It was just a completely unrealistic recommendation. You've just got to be, a little bit more, I don't know, sensible is not the right word. You've just got to simplify your strokes, take out some of the complications, focus on the fundamentals and the foundations, the spacing, the setting up in the right position, maybe working on improving your movement so that you can move around the court more safely and effectively. And those things are going to enable you to improve more steadily, reach a higher level long term, and reduce the likelihood of injuries. And I've got various different videos on my channel that hopefully provide sensible recommendations with how to work on a number of those different things. So hopefully you have found this video to be helpful. I know it's a little bit of a rant and it's probably a little bit different to some of the videos that talk about technique, but I think it's something really important that needs talking about because it's such a growing problem. Okay, any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will catch you next time.